Why isn't there a bridge between Europe and Africa to connect the two continents? Between Europe and Africa, there is only a 14 kilometers gap. This is the Strait of Gibraltar. From Mirador del Estrecho in Spain, you can clearly see Mount Jebel Musa in Morocco, Africa's famous mountain. Spain and Morocco are so close that it feels like Mumbai to Navi Mumbai distance, something you could cross in half an hour without traffic. If a bridge or tunnel were built here, one could literally travel from Europe to Africa in about 30 minutes. And not just Spain or Morocco, this would be of strategic advantage to the entire world. Every year, nearly 100,000 ships and 18,000 oil tankers pass through this strait. About 33% of the world's oil and gas, 50% of world trade, and 80% of EU merchandise trade flows through this narrow 14 kilometers waterway. And yet, in over 100 years, no country has succeeded in building such a connection. But why? Especially since we know engineering marvels like Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge in China, for times longer, built in 9 years. Channel Tunnel UK-France, 50 kilometers long, built in 6 years in the 1990s. In fact, Spain and Morocco have been studying this project since the 1920s. Engineers, companies like Lombardy who built tunnels in the Swiss Alps, and governments have all explored it. But the project always gets stuck. Historical attempts. In 1920s, German architect Hermann Skirgel proposed project Atlantropa, dam the strait, lower the Mediterranean by 200 meters, reclaim land, generate hydroelectric power, and connect Africa-Europe. But it was unrealistic, costly, and ecologically destructive. It was dropped in 1952 after his death. In 1979, Spain's King Juan Carlos I and Morocco's King Hassan II signed an agreement to explore a link. Joint companies Setchegsa in Spain and SNED in Morocco began surveys in the 1980s-90s. But every attempt faced scientific and engineering obstacles. 1. Ocean currents. The Mediterranean's warm water collides with the Atlantic's cold water. Different densities create powerful upwelling currents and whirlpools. Ships doing surveys couldn't anchor properly. 2. Depth. The shortest 14 kilometers canyon route is 800 to 900 meters deep. By comparison, the English Channel's deepest point is only 180 meters. That means Gibraltar would require bridge pillars 3 Eiffel Towers tall, or tunnels dug far deeper than any in the world current record, 290 meters below sea level. 3. Weak seabed. The seabed here has layers of breccia and clay, soft and unstable. Pillars could sink or collapse. Unlike the chalk base under the Channel Tunnel, Gibraltar's ground is geologically weak. 4. Hard rock layers below the clay are extremely hard rock formations, making drilling almost impossible. 5. Earthquakes. The strait lies on the boundary between the African and Eurasian tectonic plates. This is an active seismic zone that caused the devastating 1755 Lisbon earthquake, approximately 60,000 deaths. Any bridge, tunnel here would constantly face earthquake risks. Because of these challenges, the shortest 14 kilometers route was abandoned, alternative route. By the 2000s, research shifted to a longer 28 kilometers threshold route between Punta Paloma, Spain and Punta Malabada, Morocco. Depth only approximately 300 meters, not 900. Softer geology, fewer hard rock sections. More feasible for a tunnel rather than a bridge. The plan, 3 tunnels to 4 trains, 1 service tunnel similar to the Channel Tunnel. It could reduce Casablanca-Madrid travel time from 12 hours to 5.5 hours. Boost massive trade flows between Europe and Africa. In 2006, Spain and Morocco gave the project to Swiss company Lombardy Engineering. Work was expected to start by 2008. Political obstacles. But then politics got in the way. 2008. Spain's king visited Ceuta and Melilla, two Spanish enclaves on Moroccan land. Morocco recalled its ambassador, halting the project. 2020. Spain admitted a Western Sahara rebel leader for medical treatment, angering Morocco again. Project paused. So, despite decades of engineering studies, diplomatic disputes keep derailing progress. Current status to 0-5. The project is not dead, but still on hold. USA, UK, China, India, and the EU all push Spain and Morocco to cooperate, since the Strait of Gibraltar is one of the world's most critical choke points. But before steel and concrete, the real bridge that needs to be built is trust between Spain and Morocco. Until then, the dream of driving or taking a train from Europe to Africa in half an hour will remain on paper. Summary: the Strait of Gibraltar link hasn't been built because of extreme depth up to 900 meters, dangerous geology, weak clay and breccia, strong ocean currents, active earthquake zone, political disputes, Ceuta, Melilla, Western Sahara. That's why even though China and Europe have built longer or deeper structures, Gibraltar remains the toughest challenge in engineering plus geopolitics. Do you want me to also make a short, simplified version of this translation, just 10 to 12 key points, so it's easier to read quickly?